All aboard, Hearties! Welcome to Hope Valley Central Station.
Your transportation to Hope Valley with your conductors, Kerri
and Morgan.
Welcome back, Hearties, to episode 5. That's 10. Hang on, that's 10. 5. I'll learn to count eventually, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry. I may be 25 until we learn how to count. But thanks, y'all, for being back with us. If you listen to our last podcast, you'll hear a lot of bombshells, I think. Well, maybe not if you watch the episode, but Morgan's reaction. Morgan, do you want to tell them? We got it right! We nailed what Nathan's secret was. And I gotta say, I'm a little proud of us. Okay, we have not.
I am too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You did. You got it right.
Yeah. We did. As you can tell, we have another very special guest with us today. We have Amy. Most of y'all probably know her as Cross My Hearty from Instagram, and her memes have been killing it lately. So Amy, thanks for being with us today. We're so excited.
Oh my gosh. Y'all have no idea. I mean, this is like the highlight of my week, month, whatever. We could go on.
Aw, that's so sweet.
We love Amy so much.
Yes.
We love you.
But the Hearties need to know that I love Kerri and Morgan just as much, if not more.
Thank you so much. Morgan doing the little heart hands. I can't do the heart hands like she can. I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually. I don't know. But anyway, so Amy,
I'll give you a crash course. I'll give you a crash course after this.
Am I too old for this?
You're good. Hey, you're doing good.
This is okay. We've said this before. I'll say it again. This is a safe space, people. That's what Morgan said our first episode.
It better be.
I'm going to keep using that.
It is a safe space.
It better be. That's all I gotta say.
All right.
As long as we kind of keep it PG-13, whatever you want to call it, I think. I mean, other than that, it's a safe space. Say what you want to say. It don't matter.
It's a safe space with boundaries. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But if y'all can't tell by just a very couple of seconds we've been on here, this is going to be full of laughs. So I hope if you're watching this late at night that we don't burst your eardrums through the headphones with our laughter, because this is going to be awesome. We have a really very interesting topic coming up. But Amy, why don't you tell the listeners, good grief, I can't talk, a little about yourself, and then we'll get started.
Okay. So my name is Amy. Amy Garza. I'm gonna just put it all out there. I don't mind. I live in Southeast Texas. Morgan lives in Louisiana. Well, I'm about 30 minutes. Well, no, I take that back. 20 minutes from the Louisiana border. Most of my family is from Louisiana, but I'm a Texas girl. I started.
We're sisters. We're state sisters.
We are, Shad. We are. And we cool, y'all.
Oh yeah.
So I'm feeling a little left out over here. I'm
sorry.
Kerri, I have been to Georgia so many times because I have cousins that live there, and I would go there every summer. So I have a tie to Georgia too.
You're our sweet Georgia peach, okay? You can never be left out.
She's so.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so I'll make this quick because I'm not that special, but I'm 30 years old. I've been with my husband for about 10 years. I have a 5-year-old daughter named Haven, and I have a 4-month-old daughter named Leah. And I'm a court reporter. I work for a judge. If you don't know what a court reporter is, it's that little lady or man, there could be men too, but you sit there with that little weird machine and you're literally typing. We call it writing, but y'all would probably say typing everything that's said in court. We are the record of the court. So that's what I do. And that's the only reason I have a mic right now is because ever since COVID-19, we are working from home. So this is my normal setup anyways. I did not get this fancy mic for this to be a guest on Hope Valley Central.
Oh, but man, I thought we were that special.
Y'all are, you have no idea, like, for me to be here. The kids, I can hear them in the background. I'm just ignoring them. They're not here. My mom's here, grandma's here, like, bye. Leave me alone. Okay.
I know, I'm the opposite. I have my dogs barking in the back, and I'm trying to ignore them. But you probably will hear me say "shut up" to them at least once in this podcast because they drive me nuts.
Yeah, you might hear me tell them to shut up too. No, I'm joking. Get that baby to shut up. Anyway, real brief. Let me try to finish this up. Okay, so the kids, job, and I just recently created a Cross My Hearty Instagram. I've always been on Instagram. I've watched When Calls the Heart for a long time, but I've never been in the realm of social media fan, whatever. Like it's just literally be me watching the TV and that's it.
Right.
And so, but once you dip into that, like, oh my gosh, you're like, and there's so much crazy things going on in life right now. Like this is the perfect escape for me and I enjoy it. So that's why I created my account. Yes, you will find a lot of memes on my account. But
don't stop.
Perfect.
Please do not stop making
They're
this.
perfect.
But literally that's what my family knows me for. Without social media, we will have social gatherings, or I call them social oh my gosh, you can tell I'm living in COVID-19 times.
I love it.
I love it.
Hate that, by the way.
My God.
We will have family get-togethers. I will take pictures throughout when we're all together, and then they will get a text in the family group message of a meme with someone in our family. And I'm pretty darn good at it. I'm pretty darn good at it.
I love it. Yeah, you are. Like the Rapunzel.
Awesome.
The Rapunzel
Yes.
meme got me so much. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that meme goes kind of with what we kind of want to talk about.
I want a behind the scenes video of the producers, or just the people who work behind the scenes. I want a little clip of them lighting all those candles just for fun.
That'd be fun,
right? Yeah. All right.
Exactly. But we've like me and Kerri already have our little behind the scene video that we want to see, and we want to see Kevin McGarry, whether he's dressed up in the red surge or not, hurling those candles into the river, while Chris McNally
unbuttoned red surge.
Yeah, unbuttoned, showing that Henley off, just like. And Chris
PG.
And Chris McNally in his suit with his little teacup on the ground on his knees going, no, my president.
To be clear, y'all, we've said this, but we'll keep saying it. We do love Lucas. We do love Chris McNally.
Love him. Hey,
that's something I want to touch on at some point.
He's very easy to pick on. Okay,
yes,
I'm sorry. He's just very easy to pick on.
Come on, Chris McNally even tweeted last night. So even he knows, and he sees that it's that it's something that's really funny. So, and I love Lucas because like me and him both, we both are from Louisiana, so I can't not love him. He's family. So
There you go.
But plus, like Lucas. There's so many reasons why we could love Lucas. I mean,
I agree, and I've only been able to admit that the last couple episodes, but we'll get into that later.
I will throw something out real quick because Morgan was kind of breaking up there for just a second. She still has internet problems, y'all. So we're trying to just kind of work around that. So if she's breaking up a little bit,
it wasn't bad, Morgan.
It wasn't bad.
You probably saw me looking down, like on my screen. It said your internet is unstable. I said I'm unstable because of my stupid internet provider.
Yeah. So everybody pray for Morgan's internet to come back on so we can get
2 weeks, y'all. 2 weeks. I have been out without Wi-Fi.
I know.
I've been having to do a personal hotspot with my phone, and we all know that this works only for a while.
It's like, really, I just started a podcast. Why?
Right?
Yeah. Literally, like we recorded episode 1, we recorded episode 2, and the day she was going to send me the second episode to upload, her internet goes out. So we ended up having to re-record, which was a God wink. I still say that's a God wink of us re-recording Nathan's Secret, because we had so much more information that came out. It was so cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say,
and we got it
again,
right.
We got it right. I will add this real quick too, that I will link Amy's social media in the show notes below. Anytime we have a special guest, we'll link their social media on here. So are we ready to get started? Because we have a lot to talk about.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So today we're mostly going to be talking about the triangle. Really,
my favorite subject.
Yes.
Illuminati.
Think,
No.
Guys, I'm gonna have a time keeping these two straight. Okay, y'all just bear with me because I am in the minority here. Okay.
When you get two loud Cajuns on the Zoom together, you're gonna have some problems when you get two loud Cajuns together.
You're gonna see me over here with my little teacup, letting the two of them talk. Oh, word. But
I'll be good.
If you don't know, like if you're just picking up wherever you're picking this up, listening to this, we just finished watching episode 8 of season 8 of When Calls the Heart this past Sunday. And it was a bombshell. I mean, just that Morgan said it, I have to agree with her. That had to be one of the best episodes of the series, not of the season, but of the series. That episode was incredible.
And it's not even just because of Nathan's secret bombshell, but just because everyone has been talking about how this season just does not feel like Hope Valley. It feels like we're in a whole nother universe, and like this is just some weird version of Hope Valley. Like it's like we're in the Twilight Zone or something like that. But this episode was like so Hope Valley. It was so Hope Valley. All the characters we had, like all the storylines made sense for once. They weren't being rushed. They weren't being like, we weren't getting little tiny things and then like having to wait until like the next episode to even make sense of it. It's like everything made sense. Everything flowed. Everything just was so perfect. The lines, the humor, the romance. We were finally getting some romance.
Yeah,
even.
And so for real romance.
Yeah, okay, for real.
I will say this. Like I love Lucas. I'm team Nathan 100%, but I love Lucas. But I have to say, this was the first time since Lucas came into town 2 seasons ago that I was literally applauding Lucas for one of his lines. So I will say that. But to kind of try to keep us more on the triangle here, I feel like we're seeing Lucas pull away some, which is really incredible to me. Because up to this point, we've really just seen him pursuing Elizabeth or
observing with his little teacup.
Yeah.
I will say for the past 2 episodes have really changed my mind, my way of thinking. They have gotten me to admit that Elizabeth he is in the running. He is a fair shake in this race. Now I say that like open-handedly because I saw whenever Nathan came onto the scene in season 6, I just immediately saw signs, and I'm not a writer. I'm not like a blogger. Colorado Hardy, The Observer, like they're so good at, and Kerri too, like pointing out like specific like little details right off the bat. Whereas to me, it was just kind of like I'm watching it as it's happening, and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is the guy that we're gonna have to wait on. But he's the guy what we're just gonna have to wait on. Like I just picked that up right away. But the past 2 episodes have got me, but then along the way I became so hardcore team Nathan, that I did overlook some stuff, and I will admit that. But the last episodes I have totally been able to like well, but even before the last 2 episodes, I can openly admit that I've always been like, Lucas is a great guy. Like, there's no doubt about that. He's just not the guy. He's not the guy the writers are setting up to be Elizabeth. And I've always just known that without really having to like dig down into the details of that. I leave that up to you guys and the bloggers and all that. And I'm like, yep, that's what I was thinking. I just didn't know how to articulate that.
Right.
But the past 2 episodes, I will definitely say, like, I'm like, whew, like they are absolutely putting Lucas in the running. And it's not even that, it's not Lucas so much. It hasn't been him that has given me that idea. It's Elizabeth, who I have been as frustrated as I have been with her this season. I can honestly say, like, I'm like, it's her that is telling me, hey, I do like this guy. I really care for this guy. He does make me feel some type of way. So I understand that now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So the past 2 episodes, that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was the same way. I just like you, I didn't really get into the deep dive of the internet burst of like creating a fan account, doing the lives, doing like the edits and like putting out, like I'm not a blogger either. I've read books my whole life. I've always been a lover of books. So I can also see, even though I've never written any books, obviously, I also see like the whole, you know, I can kind of see the mind of a writer, or the minds of the writers for this show. You know, you have to make storylines that are catching, that are going to catch the audience, that are going to make the audience stay. Obviously, they're doing a really fantastic job. And of course, because we just beat Walking Dead like what 5 times, and that show's been
several times
in a row, not like hit and miss. I mean, in a row.
Yes.
So I mean, obviously, what they're doing. I mean, despite the frustration,
they're doing something right.
They're doing something right. Despite the fans' frustrations and us getting really like kind of starting to get fatigued with this triangle, they're doing something right.
Look, yeah, and I've watched, you know, I follow you on your lives and everything, and I have sent y'all stuff like screenshots, or maybe I'm just watching your live, and it's like sometimes y'all have kind of portrayed to me like sometimes Team Nathan can get petty too, just like Team Lucas.
Yeah,
and I totally agree. Yeah. I guess where I come from on that stance is that I don't see how the writers could expect anything, not nastiness. I don't condone that. And I want to make that clear from the start. But like my initial reaction to like episodes like last night, or those like Lucas and Elizabeth going out on dates and having fun at first, when we already, like y'all talked about before, preconceived notion, you have this preconceived idea, or you're just biased. You're biased. Right. That's it.
Right.
My initial reaction is not mature. I'm not mature when my initial reaction is not mature. And I will say that. And guess what? I think that's part of the fun. I love that. Yeah. You know, I love that I'm that emotionally invested. And I think that that's a good thing. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you go on to like the main When Calls the Heart pages and you read some of the comments, like you're like, whoa, like even you're like, I've been all up in my feels before over the show, especially my initial reaction. And then after I sit on it for a minute, I'm like, wait, and then I can just kind of process it. And I feel completely different. Right. But you go to those comments and you're like, wait, these are like, what do you think about this? Like, what do you think about this? Like, you think about,
are we watching the same show? Yeah. Like, are we watching the same show?
And I'm like, how are these people Hardys? But at the same time, it's TV.
We're all human.
We just talked about the ratings. Guess what? They're getting the ratings. So just like Elizabeth, Erin Krakow, she said in an interview that the Hardys, you know, they can expect to not always support Elizabeth, you know, because sometimes she's not going to be acting right. And I think sometimes the Hardys aren't going to be acting right either for their initial reaction, because what do you expect when you literally have created something so like, I wouldn't call it down the middle. But when I go through and I read these comments because I want to understand what does Team Lucas think, and I'm like, okay, so they are just as like passionate. They are clinging to Lucas just as much as we are to Nathan. Now I would say, I will say this, like let me say this, but
go ahead, speak your piece, girl.
Team Nathan, I'm sorry, we see beyond the surface level. You have to,
Yes.
in order to be on his team. You have to go beyond the surface level to be Team Nathan. You have to be able to see the writing on the walls, like Kerri has said, like all of that. But on the surface level, Lucas is a great guy. Elizabeth truly cares about him, this guy.
She does.
The only thing, okay, like this was me, and we'll go into, I know we'll go into a whole bunch of stuff on this, but like, let's go to last season with these no dates, okay? On
unbirthdays.
Yeah, the unbirthdays. Yeah, the unbirthdays.
let's go to the library thing, okay? All right. And I know everyone after that episode, I can remember reading through the comments because I was like fired up about it and reading through the comments, and Team L was like, that was so romantic and da-da-da. But here's what I heard, okay? I will look into your eyes, or I will hold, if this were a real date, I would hold your gaze a little longer. And that's what if this were a real date, I would stare into your eye. I would hold your gaze a little longer than normal. That's what I would think that was very kind, like, or something like that. And I was like here's me. Wait, I need a pillow. If I had a pillow, I have a sheet right now, but I was like I was just like, I'm like, I'm sorry, but that is not my type of romance.
Same.
It was like that in that moment, in that scene, I was like, I know that this is who he is, and he's nice, and she's kind of like, she's sort of digging it and whatever, like, but to me it was just like, as a woman, like, I'm like, that's not for me. That is not what attracts me.
Yeah, I love how you put the French twist in on that. I was getting a little of a Maurice Chevalier vibe going on there.
I know, but that scene, he was like, if this was a real date, I would take off your coat. This was a real date, I'd hold your gaze a little longer. And ever since that episode, it was like, for me, it was like, this is not a guy I can get on board with. But seeing his character throughout Hope Valley, of course, I'm like, he's a good guy, and I like Lucas a lot. I can say that.
Honestly, that scene told me just how much literature has influenced his love life.
Yes. And those, okay. I just told them, previously that I was a book reader, and I've read so many romance type books that I'm like, if I see a book like that, I immediately am like, no. That's not my type of book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, everyone has their preferences. Everyone has their visions of what love is and all that kind of stuff like that. And but me, I was like that. I was kind of cringing. I was like, either just do it and not say you're doing it, or just don't do it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that's just me. Like, to me, that was a little like.
No, I agree.
I wouldn't have known what to do. I wouldn't have known what to do if a guy started doing that. I would have just been like,
I know what I would do, but whatever.
I would have been like,
moving on.
Well, it's not a date. It's like, you can tell me what you do on a date, but I already made it clear this is not a date, so chill.
Yeah. Chill out.
I'm just joking. No.
Like, again, that's our preference. That's our preference. Yeah. That's what we enjoy. Right. I kind of like, but.
And it was after. Go ahead, Kerri. I'm sorry.
I feel like to go back, I've been reminded so many things from season 1 in Jack. Like, what I see so many people complaining about, and if y'all go on Instagram, and I need to link it below, that the Hardy Observer posted a cameo that Kevin McGarry sent to her, and he's talking about Nathan's beginnings, and it's all about like this virgin birth and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, that has to be because so many people have said that Nathan acts like he's God's gift to the world, and I'm like, that has to be why he said that.
And that goes to show you, like, he actually put on Twitter. Let me see if I can go back to it, because I took a screenshot and I put it on my Instagram. But someone commented something. Oh yeah. Someone said Nathan always says a lot with his 2-word phrases. Save it. Someone commented back under it and said he's so rude. And Kevin commented on her and was like, Lucas was asking what to do with his money. Nathan was just giving him his advice.
Yep. Like you save your money, kids. Save your money.
Yeah.
But that's just goes to show you, like,
it just cracks me up though to go back to season 1, and like people are saying how cocky Nathan is and whatever, and then season 1 Jack is over here going, you weren't disappointed when you found out I was coming to dinner. ... That was just a guess. How dare you? You know, I mean, he called her a goat. He called her a fool. He called her out on her crap. They did not have romantic dates. You know, I mean, really, they did not. They literally did what Nathan and Elizabeth have done, and they fell in love through day-to-day things. One thing that stands out to me is the fact that Jack actually did not, at least initially, actually called Elizabeth out and said instinct is for Mounties, not for teachers. Right. It's just, of course, came back with the line of students are for teachers, not for Mounties. But then Nathan has actually applauded Elizabeth for following her instinct. So I'm just saying, like, the people who are griping about things with Nathan need to go back and rewatch the early episodes.
Hey, first of all, Jack didn't even want to be in Coal Valley.
Yeah.
He had to go to Hope Valley because William Thatcher, in Jack's words, needed someone to come and take care of his princess and make sure she didn't stub her toes. And she's like, I'll watch my stubbed toes. Thank you very much.
And it's like, how do you here's the thing. It's like, you can only do so much. It's like most of the viewers right now, and I will admit, like, I watched all those seasons, but I'm not that refreshed. Like, I saw it all. I was invested in it at the time.
Oh, I've had to go back and relook at clips.
Yeah. I can't go back right now because obviously you had to pay for the whole seasons, and I'm sorry, but that's a little rich for my blood. But
no, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Because I've looked up, and I'm not saying I'm never gonna do it, but like me and Kerri, that's why me and Kerri are so adamant about doing recaps. Going back maybe to season 6 to back through season 8, and then going all the way to season 1 and coming all the way to season 5, because these parallels are real.
They are.
There's so many parallels between Jack's seasons and Lucas and Nathan.
But here's the thing, like, I wonder if the writers if they were like, oh well, surely they knew that not all Hardys would be able to make these parallels. Like, it was like maybe they were, but at the same time they had to have kind of like an open hand of like, a lot of these people are not in tune of what happened however many years ago, you know what I mean? Because someone like I said, even someone like me, I watched it, I was invested in it at the time, but I was no part on like social media to where I was like kind of saying refreshed in it. I'm just new to that part. So and when you go to like the When Calls the Heart TV page and you read the comments, it seems like majority of the people, they are just in the moment. They are literally just refreshed on what's happening in the moment. They're not in episode by episode. They are not thinking about these parallels. The only time you can think about these parallels truly is if you're kind of somewhat in the Hardy community on social media. I mean, it helps so much. I've learned so much or have refreshed on so much from that.
I mean, I just made my account this year. This is the first time I've had an account. This is the first time I've ever done a podcast. First time I've ever started doing lives for all of this kind of stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, like, because I didn't realize, and it opened my eyes to see just how big the Hardys are. The age range, and the like how dedicated they are. Like, I've heard in interviews.
The age range. You're right about that. The age range. You're like, I mean, it goes.
Y'all, can I just say something? I have been seeing 60-year-old women bullying Allie and different ones on this show, and I'm like, that's couldn't help but to
reply to. I have left replies on some, and then you quickly realize, like, you get a reply back, and you're like, you're like, their way of thinking is their way of thinking, and there's nothing that I can say at this point that's going to change it.
No,
What
exactly.
will change it is season 8, episode 12. Stay
exactly.
tuned.
Love it.
Exactly.
Love it.
And I do kind of
go ahead, Morgan.
I do kind of wonder because, like they said in the interview, Aaron, Chris, and Kevin, all three said, not to mention John Tinker and Brian Bird, have all said the end of the season is going to make it to where these teams are going to be able to reunite. And I'm sorry.
They hope. There's some that will not. And
there's going to be people that aren't.
Let me say this. If and we know, like, I know the roots of it all. I say that, and it might sound very, like, I don't know, cocky or condescending, whatever, but like I don't have any, I have left comments or I've left replies to people because I'm that sure. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. So it's like, I don't leave mean comments. I'm like, I want to help these people along. So when the end does, maybe it gives them a new way of thinking. So to where whenever it does end up with Elizabeth and Nathan, that it's not going to be as shocking.
Yeah.
But I will say, this is completely hypothetical, but if it was Lucas, some people are like, oh, well, if it doesn't end up being your team, you're not a true Hardy. I would, like I said, my initial reaction is not that mature. Sometimes my initial reaction will be like, well, it was fun while it lasted. I guess I'm on to a new show. I'd probably have that feeling in my head because I'd be so like, how did I get this so wrong?
Yeah, how did I get this so wrong? You'll be just distraught. Yeah.
But the only reason I'm even able to say all that is because I really, it's not wrong. Like,
you know yourself.
I think for me and Morgan, one thing, or at least for me, I'll just speak for myself. I think one thing that helps me with that is people are like, how shocked would you be if Lucas is the one that gets chosen? I'm like, oh, I would be 100% shocked. But at the same time, I think one thing with me and Morgan is we're planning on going back and recapping the triangle, no matter who gets picked. But we're planning on going back and recapping that because both teams are going to be going, what did I miss? No matter who gets picked, whoever didn't get picked is going to go, what did we miss? Where did we go wrong? So that's something that we want to do, is go back through that for that. And I said this on a live Sunday night, and I'd like to or Sunday actually before the episode, because there are a lot of people getting a little, they need to take a chill pill over all this. And I say that in love because I understand I can get worked up over it too. But I will say this, a lot of people are so upset about her dating Lucas right now. And then if she chooses Nathan, that's not fair to Lucas. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I mean this in the most loving, bring this to reality way possible. If you have ever dated someone and broken up with them and then dated somebody else and probably even kissed the other people that you dated, you really have no right to be getting mad at Elizabeth right now, because she has every right to date Lucas, even if she ends up with Nathan. Lucas has every right to pursue her, even if they end up breaking up. That is a personal right. And if you have ever done that, you literally have no right to be this upset with Elizabeth.
Can I just say something here real quick?
Yeah.
If that was the case, if people actually had that thought in their mind, are we forgetting the fact that Rosemary was engaged to Jack before Elizabeth was?
Oh, people, I forget that because it's so it's such, they definitely, like, it was part of the story, and then they definitely, and I will say, especially since Abigail left, they definitely like wanted to separate that fact. Because Rosemary has to be Elizabeth's best friend. I mean,
exactly.
So they have really not, they really don't harp on that. They don't touch back on that. Like, it's like, if you remember, you remember.
And
if you don't,
honestly,
good.
I honestly don't feel like this triangle is going to go that way, because I think it was Aaron that said that if like whoever doesn't get picked if we get picked up for season 9 would have a love interest in season 9. And honestly, I feel like for Lucas, I will just say Lucas hit the nail on the head when he said that Nathan would never be satisfied with just friendship from Elizabeth. So I will just say that Lucas hit that squarely on the head. but that that I feel like for Lucas, he still has such a fairy tale image in his mind of love and romance and whatever, that honestly I feel like him going through a relationship with Elizabeth and then breaking up would actually kind of help him grow up in a sense and have a healthier relationship with somebody else in season 9. That's my gut feeling.
And you know, Peter Pan was one of the books that were featured in one of the episodes. So, but what my thing is, going back to all of this with the triangle and this whole entire situation going on. Like I said, you know, if that was the case, then you know, Rosemary had first dibs on Jack. So, you know, but obviously, you know, we could plainly see that wouldn't have worked out for very long either. No offense to Rosemary and Jack, but you could clearly see that they weren't made for one another.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, Jack was
that would be very interesting. I have to say that would be very interesting. To try
I wonder if they could make like a what if episode where like maybe Jack, maybe, you know, because it's like Susan Firth, she made a fanfic, and you guys can totally dip it's on fan. I'll try and give Kerri the link to this specific
nice
one.
To meet you, Morgan.
She made a fanfic basically saying that instead of coming to Hope Valley, Jack went to the northern, like the superintendent called both Nathan and
Jack
choice between either one go to Hope Valley and the other one goes to the Northern Territories. Well, Nathan was like, I have a kid in my possession. I'm not going to go fight in the Northern Territories. That's deadly. I want a simpler life. We all can agree. Nathan is very simple when he lives with his life. I mean, look at his reaction. Like, y'all remember his reaction to hearing Elizabeth talk about like more than 20 people being at her house for Christmas? And he's like, that's a lot of people. He was like mind blown by that. He was like, no, I can't. Nuh-uh. He don't like crowds, which I think comes from his PTSD probably. But what I'm saying is like how she wrote things. I would love to see how things would have went and like the different. Anyways, what I'm saying is, it's like, you know, the biggest thing that Team Lucas always tends to go at with Nathan is the fact that he's a Mountie. I'm not saying that's the only thing that they tend to always go back.
Because I've heard he's dramatic. He's stuck up and arrogant.
God's gift to the world.
Oh, he's toxic. This is, and let me just go. I'm just going to say this one thing. I've heard, like you said, someone who's more mature in age specifically had said that Elizabeth told him, like he told her he loved her, and she told him, I don't love you. And so the fact that there's that the writers are still talking about this relationship, like it's putting a light on toxic relationships. And I was like, I was just like, well, first of all, she didn't declare she didn't love him.
She just said, I can't. She said two words.
She said it would hurt too much to lose you the way I lost Jack, which we all know how much she loved Jack.
Him to
she said, I can't. And when he said, Elizabeth, I love you. Elizabeth, I'm in love with you. Or it was swapped, but still, out. She couldn't breathe. She literally couldn't breathe and had to run away on her horse. And I mean, if I could imitate her scene in that open field, she was, I mean, like, come on. Yes. And then compare it to with everything with Lucas. Yes, it's fun, it's smooth, it's suave, it's easy, it's romantic.
It's too easy.
His beard is dapper, his suit is dapper.
Pokey kisses.
We're fixing to get to that, guys. We're fixing to get to that. We are fixing to get to that.
Oh
but
my gosh.
No, it's way too easy. And I know, like, I had somebody at one point tell me, Nathan doesn't even know about Elizabeth's writing. I'm like, exhibit A, exhibit B, like literally posted in my Insta stories. Yeah, what's in your heart? You know,
what's in your heart?
I'm you know, congratulating her on her book deal, and I'm glad.
He's like, I'm so glad. I know, like, oh, you're a writer. That doesn't surprise me. You're so talented. Like, you're articulate. You're talented with students. That doesn't surprise me. You're a good writer. What's in your heart? Like, That's what I care about.
Well, not only that,
What's in
like,
your heart.
go back to what he said after that. He's like, tell
Okay,
me
Morgan, you're
when
cutting out
you're
really bad.
ready. They keep on saying,
There you
go. Okay, is that okay?
Better.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Better?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't understand
Okay.
anything.
Sorry, it's my internet just like is wonky. Anyways, what I was saying was, you know, what she said after that. He straight up said, you know, tell me when you're ready. You know, and so many different what?
I'm sorry, it was cutting out in exactly the same spot, but I think we got your point that time. It was like,
I'm sorry, Morgan.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna kill my internet version.
It's okay. It's still fun. Let's move on. I
It's
think it'll come
fine.
back.
Yeah, you're fine right now. You're fine. You're perfect right now. It's not cutting out right now. But we got your point. What was important was what he said after that. That I have already forgotten.
Tell me when you're ready.
Thank you.
Tell
because
me when you're ready.
I'm not ready.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Guys, we keep
Morgan,
telling
it's
y'all
okay.
raw and unfiltered. Okay, I'm sorry. I have no filter over my giggle box. Okay, I apologize. I have no filter over my giggle box.
But I get so mad and like.
Can we touch on
recently, and now people are like, just no, you can go.
I was gonna say, so the scene that I freaked out the most on at first. Okay, I thought they release the scene of Lucas and Elizabeth in the office.
Yeah,
like
one of them.
Her tapping the settee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They released that before it aired, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one we were all messaging on. Okay, so but as the episode played out, I was like, well, look, I'm sorry, Lucas is a good guy. I've never thought differently. Like I've thought he's a good guy. Is he our main guy? Do I see him being like the dad scenes? Do I see like no, I just don't see it at all. But he was stressed out. He felt that everything that was going on with Henry, he was feeling that. And for Elizabeth, and here's the other thing. I think a lot of people say, oh, do you notice that Elizabeth has an intense scene with Nathan, and then she always goes for Lucas. I will agree with that. But we also have to have an open hand and say, but Elizabeth is still Elizabeth, and she is as closed off as she is right now after all the heartache and stuff she's been through. For her to go to his office and knock on that door that says private and ask him to come sit by her and say, come sit by me. Mm-hmm. You know, like ooh, cozy. I mean, Elizabeth cares about him deeply. She really does. She cares about him. And that's what I was saying. The past 2 episodes, I have finally been able to receive that information. Yeah. and not do it bitterly, because I wanted it to be as a Team Nathan person, I wanted it to be like all of these scenes with Lucas were just surface level, and all the way up until the end, I know it's going to be Nathan, but all these scenes are just, they're just fillers, whatever. They're just trying to throw us off. After the past 2 episodes, and especially after that scene of Elizabeth being so brazen to do that, I can admit that no, this is someone she cares about. And Lucas is so decent of a guy that he stopped. If there was a kiss, he stopped it. And he needed someone to be there for him, like who is in Hope Valley for Lucas, and he needs that. Like when Elizabeth and Nathan get together, and I say that because I'm just saying, I'm a guest on this podcast. I can say crazy things.
No, we've said it. We're 100% team Nathan.
But when Elizabeth ends up with Nathan, I want Lucas. I like him enough, and I like him enough I want to see him have some good rooted ties with someone who is there for him. Yes. Like, gosh, and my mind went immediately to Abigail. I want Abigail back because I feel like she'd be tied to everybody in some way. Yeah. But anyways, I want to see that.
Go back to that episode because we actually get to have Abigail and Lucas meet. Nathan and Abigail do have scenes, but they had to cut them out because of everything that happened. But with Lucas, she's the one that tells him, you know, we look out for each other, and that includes you.
Yep.
Did it break out again?
You did, but we heard it was just a little bit, but we understood the gist of it.
Can I just need to write it down?
You're good, Morgan. You're good. It's not your fault. It's not.
And it'll get better. It will.
Yeah. Well, and like we talked about this in our episode about the Canfield family, of the connection that Joseph and Lucas seem to have. That's really interesting because you don't really see Lucas having that kind of conversation with anybody. I mean, I felt so sorry for Lucas when I hate my
Morgan.
It's like I need to take up mime. I need to take up
but that I felt so sorry for Lucas when he was trying to tell that joke. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to throw this out there. Bill Avery is 110% Team Nathan. I mean, I honestly, Bill is 110% Team Nathan. We have never seen Bill like Lucas. When have we ever seen Bill seem to like Lucas? He still seems like he's standing there looking at him with this look like, dude, seriously? You know, like, I mean, him and Nathan just have such a really close relationship. And
it happened pretty fast.
It did. It really did.
Fast.
It really did. Which, I mean, we all kind of fell in love with Nathan pretty fast.
And I was actually, yeah. But I was a little shocked because, you know, obviously I was kind of expecting Bill to have his reservation, obviously, because Nathan gets in the middle of something that he shouldn't have gotten in the middle of and got socked in the mouth. But, you know, I was expecting his reservations over Nathan to be a little longer, even despite him being a Mountie, because of the closeness he was with Jack. You know, not letting Nathan in the way that he let Jack in.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, if you think about
he was also very quick to see. I think it was really quick to see the full extent of who Nathan is, and like in the inquiry episode, he stood up for Nathan. He said Nathan is the kind of observant Bill is. Did it cut out again?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Just a little at the end.
I'm sorry. I wish I could stop laughing, Morgan. I truly feel bad. I don't know why I'm laughing because I truly feel bad for you when that's happening. But
let me just go check on something and I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull a Paul Green right now and be right back. So
we got you. All right, Kerri, ask me a random question while she's gone.
Okay. Well, first of all, like, just what season did you come in on When Calls the Heart? Have you watched since the season 1 or?
Not as it was airing. It was when I was a stay-at-home mom. My daughter was probably like 1 year old, and I was looking on Netflix for something to watch. And When Calls the Heart, I wanted something that had at least 3 seasons for me to binge watch on. So I got to binge watch 3 full seasons of When Calls the Heart, and then after 3 seasons started like, oh, I have to start buying the episodes. So man, they took a long time for Jack and Elizabeth, but gosh, it was so good. And then when he died, it was but I watched that live video of Aaron, Lori, and Daniel listening. I watched all that.
I did too.
It was just because Daniel, he was leaving. That is the only reason the writers had to go a different way. Am I kind of thankful for it now? Yes. As crazy as this love triangle is, as much as I'm like, oh, this is dangerous for your viewers, I'm sorry, but it's probably brilliant on their end. They're getting the best ratings ever. And I mean, it's so, as much as it stresses me out, it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be worth it.
But I mean, really, like, granted, there's a little too much going on this season, and I think John Tinker even admitted that there's a few, he got a little went overboard with that. But how brilliant is the writing if it can pull us in this much?
I agree. It means it's so much. It's dangerous. And I heard Aaron Krakow say something in an interview about, like, the whole thing with the love triangle, it's great because it pulls so many people in. But the problem with it is there's teams, there's this. And when your team doesn't win and you're so invested, it's going to be devastating. But the trick to watching this type of show is to you have got to go beyond the surface level. You cannot watch this show and be so biased to where you lose the writers. You lose with all these major clues. They might seem like nothing to you, but they're huge. They might be you might see a grand scene of Elizabeth and Lucas, but all these little scenes of Elizabeth and Nathan along the way, Hallmark is slow. They are slow. They're not going to give you a relation. They're not going to pick the guy who is just like cut and dry, easy, smooth, blah, 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 blah. Like, and then this guy will be in the background. Elizabeth, she's going to fear love, da, da, da. He's a Mountie, but don't focus on him. Focus on the guy it's easy with. No, Hallmark is the complete opposite. And I love how y'all put it, the Hallmark formula. If you are Team Lucas, you are not following the Hallmark formula. It is okay to love Lucas. It is okay to be enamored by him because he's so suave and charming. But the depth, oh gosh, the depth that comes with Nathan is so huge. And we're going to be rewarded. We are going to finally be rewarded with the greatest love story. I think it's because of this love triangle. Elizabeth and Nathan's love story is going to be, I might get some heat from this, but it's going to be even deeper and crazier than her and Jack because of this intense 100%. Hardship. This is an intense hardship that they have to overcome. And guess what? It comes with her loving. Well, and I say that loving, I think she cares for Lucas so deeply. Why wouldn't she? Like you, Kerri, you say, if you've ever dated more than one people, and I'm not saying people have dated more than one people, but let's say you left a relationship and you jumped into another, and it's like, you think you're fine and you're in this new relationship and I'm speaking for myself. You're in this new relationship and you're happy. And then all of a sudden, like someone out of the blue comes up and they're like, did you know, your ex is dating, he found someone, like he's dating this person. And all of a sudden, you can feel that deep love for multiple people. But as a TV viewer, to me, from the beginning, since season 6, since Nathan entered the scene, they have been setting him up for Endgame. That's why I clung to it from the beginning.
Oh yeah. I mean, my thing is like a lot of people are like, for instance, with like, I think now that the secret's out, and I still think there's some parts of the secret that we haven't even heard, because there's some little details in there that Elizabeth doesn't know.
What do y'all think about that? What some people are like, oh, it's about like, what could Hargraves possibly have to do with that?
Well, he's the one that sent Nathan on assignment, and he was a superintendent over Port Clay.
Yeah,
from my knowledge.
cutting out.
And so it's like we said before, he's got like a power struggle. He's got the power going to his head.
But the added story with Hargraves won't add much.
And you have a person. Well, I mean, some people are throwing around that possibly Nathan knew about the conditions around the training area, and that he said something to Hargraves, and Hargraves didn't take it seriously.
Ooh, I would like that.
And and then of course, Nathan finding out that Jack was killed in it. He maybe in the inquiry, Nathan spoke up about it.
Can I ask you something real quick? What in your mind, when you picture Jack dying in a landslide, what does that look like to you? Because to me, I'm like, I feel like I'd have to YouTube a landslide.
I think it's Texas. A lot of people are saying we don't have landslides here either. A mudslide and a landslide are very different in my mind.
I've seen a mudslide.
I think a lot of people. I think people are getting mudslide and landslide differently, because I think a landslide, it's a lot of like rock and dry dirt maybe, but because I think they had a landslide in Heartland, which is the show that Kevin's on too. Well, and it was nothing but big boulder rocks. Yeah. I don't know if you remember.
It was a landslide would be more of like just the earth
dry earth.
Yeah, just randomly giving way.
Where a mudslide, it looks like a mud stew.
Yeah, it's just like mud. It's like mud and water just sliding. It's kind of, didn't they have a mudslide or something like that in one of the seasons that caused Jack to get pneumonia?
It was like a landslide or a mudslide or something like that caused the river to flood.
Yeah, I think it was a mudslide, and that's what gave and Jack got swept up by that and ended up getting pneumonia. So that's kind of foreshadowing, don't you think? Him almost dying from a landslide.
Y'all are going to be recapping these.
Yes,
the old
yes.
I will.
So
if y'all want, I will rewatch them, and if you want me on a guest.
I will definitely. Is
that even a question? Is that even a question?
You don't have to ask.
We literally told Casey last night or Sunday when we did the live. We were like, if you ever want to just come on the podcast, like if you have a bunch of thoughts or whatever, just text us and go, hey, if you don't have anybody else coming on, can I come on and talk about it?
Exactly.
So we're pretty.
Just tell us you want to be on it. Just tell us you want to be on it, and you're on it.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. What else can we cover with this triangle? Like, what else can we?
Okay. I do want to say something.
Okay.
I've been seeing a lot of people hating Nathan because of this. Because of the secret. And basically saying that, that Nathan, I saw someone's comment and it shocked me with how absolutely ridiculous it was. They literally said that Nathan needs to get on his horse and leave Hope Valley after that. He is shameful. He is horrible. I can't believe he allowed Jack to take his place. Like, when you're suspended, you don't have a choice in who takes over for you.
I also saw, and I replied to a comment just shortly before this podcast of someone who said, how could Elizabeth ever be with Nathan knowing he's responsible for Jack's death? And I'm like,
but he's not. He's
not responsible for Jack's death. And because of just because of things that have been said in the fan pages of like a reminder that Jack had survival's guilt over Doug.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that. Yeah.
I'm like, he had like he was not responsible for his death. He has survivor's guilt, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like we talked about this, Kerri. If you want to take over about the Doug thing, the Doug parallel, if you want to take over for that.
I went on my Insta story and asked people, like, what do they remember about Doug? Because honestly, I had totally forgotten that. And people, and then Morgan looked up the clip, and that Jack had, what was that, in season 4, I think, that Jack had turned down an assignment in the Northern Territories, and that Doug took that assignment and ended up getting killed, and that that Jack had that survivor's guilt, but that Doug's mother, I believe it was like, this was not your fault. So that just brings it full circle of, Jack has dealt with that. And honestly, I believe that's going to be part of what helps Elizabeth through this. And we talked more about that in our, Nathan's Secret Reveal episode, but that for me is just a full circle moment.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't think Lucas is gonna I wonder how Lucas is gonna react. How he's gonna help Elizabeth with this, or if he's even gonna be able to.
I think she's gonna push him away a little bit.
Yeah,
honestly.
I do too.
There's nothing that these two can
say.
She is not going to fully open up. We're not going to hear Elizabeth say, Lucas, if Nathan would, if he wouldn't have been suspended, my husband. We've never heard Elizabeth talk about Jack with Lucas ever.
It's always not.
And to me, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I wonder if Lucas is even really going to understand that. I wonder if he's going to struggle with that, and he's going to be like, why can't you talk to me about him? Like, why can't we share this?
He'll try. I think he'll try to, but
I think he'll try, but I don't think it's going to work. I think she's going to shut him out and be like, you don't understand this part of my life. Nathan understands this part of my life.
Right.
Very deeply, more deeply than I thought he did.
Yeah, for sure. Well, talking about Lucas, and Amy, you brought up his looks earlier, and we kind of hinted at this, and we got off on another little rabbit trail. We're good about rabbit trails. We're pretty good with rabbit trails. But Amy had, and actually what initially made us go, we want this girl on our podcast, was Amy has a very interesting theory as to why Lucas cannot be Endgame. So Amy, take the floor.
Okay. All right. So if you were on this live that we all joined in, probably what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we could not stop laughing. Well, I wasn't on the live. I was just commenting, but they could not stop laughing. And I have this theory. And let me preface this with the fact that I've been with my husband for 10 years and he has scruff. He has hair. He's not bare like Nathan. But for TV, for just grand TV moments, I was like, I don't think Lucas can be Endgame just for the mere fact that he has a full beard and a mustache. Because what kind of grand finale kiss
zoom in
would
kiss.
That be? Awkward. Zoom in on that. What would we be feeling?
Guys, it's literally become a hashtag with people who follow our Instagram lives, and you'll probably see them comment on our YouTube as well, of hashtag no pokey kisses. This has become so legendary that
I mean,
we're like, we need t-shirts.
The hair is like going over his lips at one point in the season, because his season, the first beginning of the season, it was so full and just over his lips, and I was just cringing at the thought of it whenever whenever Amy was talking about it. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, like in what TV world would that be the end result of us all having to see that?
Right. Mm-hmm. If you need to go take care of your kids, we understand.
I know. I was like, oh gosh, I have to go.
It's okay. We understand.
It's totally fine.
But yeah, for the fans, just imagine having to kiss someone with hair going down their lips.
I think it was Cammy that said, "Did you want to kiss a Brillo pad?" We just lost it, dying laughing. I mean, guys,
gosh.
if y'all don't watch our Instagram lives on Sunday nights after the episode, y'all are missing out on some insane laughter. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Amy, do you need to go right now, or okay?
It's
well,
okay.
thank you
We
so much for coming
understand.
on here.
I
Thank
do.
you.
It was so much fun. Thank y'all so
And
much for having me.
This will not be the last live that we do with you.
Don't let it be the
Definitely
last.
not.
It will not be the last. It will not.
Far from it.
I
Far
love you
from
guys,
it.
and I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay.
Okay, love you too. Bye, Amy.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.
But yes, the no pokey kisses thing has literally just become legendary with our
especially
followers.
with our fandom. Yeah.
Yes,
With our own little fandom. Yeah.
which blows my mind. I mean, seriously, like, how do we have a fan base? I don't even know. Like,
You guys, last night we had a live because we do a live every Sunday night, right? I mean, directly after the episode, we have a live. Kerri goes on. I don't know why. Kerri goes live. She invites me on. I watch mine on the Friendly app. I don't have cable, or I do, but we don't really use it. Plus it's just easier. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's still saying that my internet's unstable.
You cut out for like just a split second, but then you came up back.
Okay, so but we had, and it could be because we had Hardy's Hotline come and join us, but we had a little over 60 people watching us, and our comment section was full of people just like laughing at us, agreeing with what we were talking about when it came to the episode last night. And it was so surreal to me. I got so excited because we had people like, we had Jax from
the Bubbly
Sesh, and we had Star Watch
Deck the Hallmark guys.
The guys from Deck the Hallmark came on, who have interviewed Aaron and Chris and Paul and Kevin and all of these people that have been on Hallmark movies and the TV show. I mean, it was just so surreal to us that we were actually having people on our live, because that's not even why we do these lives. We don't really care if we get the attention or not. It's just like being able to bring the fan base together and be able to talk about these episodes and really like see all the different theories and see everyone's different views on things. And it's fun.
Well, I mean, it was, I believe it was Angie in the comments that brought up the thing about Doug.
Yeah, it was Angie. And we were shocked.
That we had not even thought about
wow.
It. Yeah.
We were so shocked.
Another little bit, we brought up the no pokey kisses thing, but this particular episode, we were going to bring up a couple of funny points from our lives, and the other one was hashtag Team No Candles, because if y'all have watched our lives,
and
if you want to trigger me, if you want to trigger me, Morgan knows my trigger point.
Candle. Okay, y'all. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and like, this is just a little disclaimer. She does not have beef with the candles just because of Lucas. Her beef with the candles went all the way back to Jack. Okay, this girl is like, there is
proposal. How many candles?
Like, he must have been having, what's her name? What's the character's name?
Kat Montgomery.
He must have had Kat working overtime with all those candles that he had to have for all of his dates. We had the Mountie Christmas ball with a ton of candles. We had their proposal with a ton of candles. They even had the wedding, which almost didn't happen because the candles lit the church on fire. You thought that they learned their lessons from the candles then. And then we got Lucas up in here whenever it was a non-date, having the whole library about to catch on fire. And then her backyard is full. Like, I could just imagine poor Gustav having to like put all these candles out and then light them.
That's one thing I want to know. Who goes through and lights all these candles? Because if you've ever lit candles on a birthday cake, I mean, by the time you light all the candles on it, one's already burning down. So I just want to know who is, I know these are bigger candles, but still, who is going and lighting all these?
And part of me kind of wonders if they were even allowed to do that, because I would feel like that would be like a major fire hazard. That would shut the TV show down.
Well, in all fairness, we do know, like, from their proposal scene that there were only so many actual candles CGI. And then CGI was used. But still, for crying out loud, just for future reference to my future husband, like, a few candles is okay. I need to write my own over Dear Future Husband song. I need to write my own Dear Future Husband song. But to use that many candles, if I were to walk into a space and a guy had that many candles, I would freak out.
I would turn around.
Morgan would be back there going, I told you not to use that many candles. I tried to tell him.
He didn't listen to me. I told about the no candles hashtag, but he didn't listen to me. He wanted to be like Lucas when I told him to be like Nathan. Simple.
I mean, I get the fact that there's not electricity. Okay, but what happened to lanterns or lamps?
Lanterns are pretty.
Yes. I mean, they're gorgeous. Hanging lanterns.
Whoa. I think they do have electricity now.
They probably do, yeah.
I want to say they have electricity.
I think they do. But it's just like this whole thing. Oh gosh, guys.
But still, it goes back to Lucas just being one of these literature, straight out of a romance novel type people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Elizabeth obviously doesn't love that, because she does.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see. I mean, a lot of people are like, for instance, we do have, and we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about more of this stuff. But like, I just don't see Nathan being like Lucas or Jack.
Yeah.
He's really simple. Yeah. He's really laid back. I don't see him doing the same things that neither Lucas or Jack did.
If Nathan takes her on their first date and there are a ton of candles, somebody is going to hear some screaming all the way from Georgia, okay?
And we're going to know exactly who it is. So,
I don't know why that bothers me so bad.
And it's funny because like sometimes Kerri texts me on Instagram in the middle of the TV show, and I can't respond because I'm watching it on my phone, especially right now with me not having internet access. I usually try and watch it on my laptop so I can talk to her on my phone. Mm-hmm. I can see her now, but like, oh my God, stupid candles, I'm flipping out. Like I can just see her just like, why, Nathan? Why? You had one job, no candles.
Oh my God. So
blowing my phone up, and I'm just gonna have to keep looking at like sliding the text up so I can see my screen, because I'm not gonna be able to see my screen.
Oh,
I just
seriously. I hate
that we couldn't have this conversation with Amy, but we of course went down our rabbit trails like we always do. But I can't wait to get her on again. Hopefully we'll be able to have this conversation.
We're for sure having Amy on again. I think the one other thing I'd like to bring up in this is the card that Allie made Elizabeth. This could be totally bonkers, guys. Like this could be completely out of the water, or you're ridiculous, whatever. But when in season 1, at the end of season 1, when Elizabeth's students thought she was leaving, they made her kind of a little pop-up card that I think said something like, you brought sunshine to our lives, or something like that. And when she read it, she was so emotional, and she said, I'm not leaving you. And like that for me was just such a poignant thing of Allie right now. What was it that she told Nathan she wanted him to say
promise.
At her? Yeah, was that he would never leave her. Honestly, I think that is what she's most upset about right now with Elizabeth, is that she feels like Elizabeth is abandoning her, because Elizabeth has always been in her corner.
It's like someone, I think it was either the Hardy detective or the Hardy observer, really touched on Allie. And it's like my mom even said this. She's like, I would wish that Elizabeth would just put herself in Allie's shoes. Yeah. And she was being advocate for Allie whenever she was first started talking to Nathan in this episode. She's like, I knew this was going to happen. You're her rock. You're her foundation. If you start going down, she's going to crumble with you.
Yeah.
And I'm the reason why you're crumbling right now. I'm the reason why you're feeling this way and you're having to go through this hard stuff. It's because I can't give you what you want. It's pretty much what she was trying to tell him. And of course, that's when he started going off being like, do you not know that do you not think I don't already know this? Like, why do you think I haven't been able to tell you my feelings? Why do you think I've waited this long to do it? And why I've kept this secret. And but we had to go back. Like, Allie's mother died when she was 4 years old. How many of you can even remember when you were 4? I can't. So she probably and she even touched on that. She doesn't remember hardly anything about her mom.
Yeah.
Her only person in her life out is Nathan. We finally got to see her have that connection with Archie, but obviously Archie's not going to be in the show all the time. So her only connection to her mother is always going to be her brother, which is Nathan. And then you also had the fact that her dad abandoned her. Her dad left. He didn't want to take up the responsibility. And a kid's not going to see it that way. A kid is going to see that he didn't love me enough to stay.
Yeah.
He didn't love me. He didn't care about me. He left.
Yeah.
And then you also see that she was probably secretly struggling, but obviously she wasn't going to say anything to her uncle because she probably didn't even realize she was struggling with it herself. But she also probably saw that obviously she knew just how much Nathan was going through with the whole Fort Clay thing, because she even said that she saw a difference in her uncle after what happened with Fort Clay.
Right.
That he was a lot more fun and, to be around and everything.
Yeah.
And so obviously she's 13, y'all. She doesn't know how to express her emotions. She knows a little bit about boundaries, but at the same time, she's like, I'm feeling all of these emotions inside my heart, inside me.
13 is a hard enough age as it is, without throwing all this stuff in there.
Exactly. She's seeing her uncle be in pain, and she knows, like, he's always been there for me. He's always helped me with my pain. He's always helped me with things that I've been going through. And I'm trying to be there for him. And you're just making it so hard when you could at least just give us a chance. Because I'm sure she's even having flashbacks to the fact that they were so close to Abigail's Cafe, to where they were all going to have this family dinner. Because she even brought up the fact that Laura could babysit Jack, or if she wants to, she can bring little Jack. Like, she saw her, having to walk her back home and no longer be able to have the dinner. And she's a kid.
Yeah.
She's not stupid, but she's a kid.
Yeah.
She's thinking in her head, like, you aren't even giving my uncle a chance. You're not giving us a chance. She associates herself with Nathan. She knows that she's a package deal with Nathan. And she probably also feels like, what if I'm the reason why she won't give Nathan a chance?
Yeah.
She's just she's grasping onto whatever she has, because also, like, Elizabeth helped her gain a voice. With the other kids in school, with her academics, with her intelligence, and be able to show her uncle Nathan what she was feeling, because she didn't understand how to show her uncle that she was struggling with the constant movie, because she probably felt like, whether she told her uncle that she was struggling with it or not, she understood that this was just a part of being a Mountie kid.
Yeah.
This kid struggled.
Yeah.
And everyone's getting mad because of how she's been treating Elizabeth, and it's just like, I get it. She does need to be disciplined for how she did it, and that she's a kid.
Yeah.
And she's got a lot of emotions in that tiny little body of hers, and there's only so much that you can hold back and keep and buried down. So with the whole comments from people saying that Nathan just needs to get back on Newton and get out of here. First of all, you obviously aren't watching the same show that we are, if you feel that way. Second of all, you need to go back and watch the season where Jack starts expressing his survivor's guilt and see Elizabeth's reaction to Jack's. I don't see a difference in how she's going to react with, yes, even including the fact that her husband was the one that took his place and he died and had he not.
And Doug's mother, the fact that, I mean, Elizabeth was indirectly involved in that. Really, to me, Doug's mother would be the one to pay attention to the fact that she's the one, you know, hugging Jack and telling him this was not your fault. He wanted to lead those men. Like, don't blame yourself for this. He wanted to do this. Yeah. So, I mean, that.
And back to the fact that Jack could have easily turned it down. Jack didn't have to go to Fort Clay, y'all. He did not have to take this assignment. He did not have to go up there. He chose to do it. Yeah. Because the Mounties have always, and he said this from day one, because even Elizabeth struggled with being with Jack because of the fact that he was so brave and he wanted to fight the good fight and he wanted to be out there in the middle of those fights because he just felt like it was such a true, deep-hearted part of him that he couldn't just stand back and let other men fight a fight that he was well able-bodied to do.
Yep.
And I feel like Elizabeth is going to tell Nathan that. She's eventually, she might not do it very quickly, and I understand that. She's going to have to grieve that process of it. She's going to have to grieve the fact that, you know, things could have turned out differently. But then she's going to realize that, first of all, one, her husband was going to do whatever he felt like he needed to do. Nobody was going to stop him, including her. We've seen that several times throughout their courtship that she was not going to stop him from being a Mountie. Two, had things gone differently and Nathan had not gotten suspended, Nathan would have died. And look at Allie. Allie has nobody. Nobody. Nathan was literally her only parent at that point because Archie was not around. As far as Nathan knew, he was in prison. Still, his mother was not able-bodied to take care of her. Her dad abandoned her and also has a history with the law. And her mother died. She would have been put in an orphanage right like that.
Yeah.
Had Nathan died. And Elizabeth knows that too. And Elizabeth is probably going to also bring that up with Nathan and be like, if you would have died, Allie would have had nobody. And I wouldn't want that either. And neither would Jack. Jack wouldn't have wanted that either. Jack probably would have, if Jack knew the circumstances, he would sacrifice himself to make sure that Allie had Nathan.
Yeah.
I don't question that at all. I don't question that at all. I guarantee you, if he had a choice to either die again or let Nathan take his position like he was supposed to take in the first place, he would have chose to do it again. Because that was just the man that Jack was. I mean, the reason why he died was because he was pushing two other Mounties out of the way. I mean, come on. Have you guys been watching the same show I have been? I mean, that's what I've really been asking myself with some of these comments about how people have been treating things.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that Elizabeth is going to have this mentality right off the bat. She's not. She's going to struggle with it. She's going to grieve this new information about her husband's death. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, going back to whether or not people are watching the same show we're watching, we can find part of that out with our heart to heart with the Hardys and see what some people have to say about that. Let's see. Melissa.n.atwood said theories. Bill will do some investigating in Hamilton about Christopher and Fort Clay. That would actually be really interesting to see Bill get involved in all that. Now I'm going to let you answer this one because I'm not on Twitter, but at Baltris1 Cooking asked, what about Brian Bird's mean tweet? What are your thoughts on that?
His mean tweet? Which tweet was that?
I have no idea. That's why I was going to let you answer that one.
What second.
I mean, and the other thing that they asked while you're looking that up, they said Little Jack is yet to interrupt a romantic moment yet, Nathan or Lucas. I would say that interruption would have been, unless there's something else coming up, I would think the interruption would be where Elizabeth and Lucas's date had to get moved to her house, her backyard, because Little Jack wasn't feeling well. So that for me was the interruption.
Yeah, I agree. That was probably the interruption.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I think she said, but I mean, we could be wrong, but I think that's probably it. That's just me. Let me see. Trying to see. Mean tweet.
That's what she said.
Okay. You just go ahead and go through the questions while I find this, and I'll say.
Okay. At When Calls the WCTH sentiments said Carson is leaving. Unfortunately, I believe that's true.
I agree.
Yeah. At When Calls the Heartgram, which I believe is Crenny, if I'm not mistaken, said it's about to go down. Nathan is in game. Girl, high five. Because I 100% agree with you on that. Let's see, what's another one? Lisa, at LME PHO on Instagram, but her name's Lisa, said you really have to pay attention to what's said, how it's said, to whom it's said to understand the storylines. That is so true. Like in the preview for episode 9, we're seeing that they're saying pick the man that you're meant to be with by touching his hands or by holding his hands. It's not pick your significant other, pick the man you're with, because like Elizabeth is with Lucas right now. It's pick the man you're meant to be with, which obviously she feels that electric shock with Nathan, like she did in the library.
Here's the thing, that wasn't even a full hand touch though. That was just the tips of their fingers. She has not fully held Nathan's hands.
And she's held Lucas's hand multiple times.
She's done at least twice with Lucas.
Yeah. So, I mean, for her to pick Nathan out of that, I was so looking forward to that scene. That is going to be incredible. Somebody else asked, was Elizabeth, actually it was Baltrus, One Cooking again, asked, was Elizabeth taking the reins with Lucas last night? And this was from Sunday night's episode. Guys, we record, if you hear us say last night, we record on Mondays and post like later in the week. So if you sometimes hear us say last night and it's on a Thursday that we're posting this and you're like,
okay, I can't find the tweet because if you guys know anything about Brian Burr, he tweets a lot, especially during the episodes. So I can't find it right now, and I don't want to take up this whole episode trying to find it. So if you guys want, whoever sent that to us to try and do a heart-to-heart with, maybe private message me the exact tweet, and we could do it maybe in our next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good.
Because I think I know what you guys are talking about, but I would really like to make sure before I really answer that. Mm-hmm. He did have a tweet that was basically talking about how there's going to be a gasp for the ending to the series. I mean, to the season 8 at the finale. We have our own little theories on that, but we'll keep those to ourselves until later on. Mm-hmm. But if that was maybe the tweet that you were talking about, then there's our answer for that one. But yeah.
At Angie H. Lyman, Angie is very involved in our Instagram lives, and we love it.
We love her.
Yes, we do. Said Nathan is endgame. Redemption stories are When Calls the Heart, and Nathan is about to make a strong comeback. That is so true. Like When Calls the Heart is all about redemption. So Angie, I love the way you worded that. That was very well worded.
Yes, it was. I mean, and it's so true because like Hallmark loves a good redemption story. They do. Oh, yeah. They love a good redemption story.
Who doesn't?
Right. And then matching that with the fact that Hallmark's not going to leave Elizabeth feeling this fear. Fear is not a good excuse for you not to be with someone when it comes to Hallmark.
No.
So the fact that she's still acting out of fear, which I'm hoping now that Nathan's secret's out,
yeah,
it'll kind of open her up to how Nathan is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's going to be all for this episode. We can't wait for episode 9 to come out. Oh my word. I have a feeling these next few episodes of When Calls the Heart are going to be dynamite. And I think, okay, sorry. Amy is texting us right now, so I'm going to check this just in case this is something we need to add on here.
She said, thank you so much, and that she had so much fun.
Amy, we love you so much. This is definitely not going to be the last time you are on our podcast.
Definitely not. We would be crazy.
This is the first of many. This is going to be the first of many. And I'm sure, like, I have trips coming up this year with the movie I worked on last year. Morgan is probably going to have to get somebody to fill in for me occasionally. So you're going to be on her list. I can guarantee you that
definitely
on her list of people to take over when I'm not available. So thank you all for sticking with us through all this. Again, apologies that we kind of got off on our little rabbit trails, but I feel like we covered some good stuff. But y'all should have been around for the conversation before we started recording, because that was a riot. I mean, I'm just saying, that was a riot. And our little mascot is deciding to make an appearance.
Guys, this is Ambrose. He's our little podcast mascot. He's always up and trying to get in the podcast, so we thought we'd make him a mascot. But no, we love you guys so much. Your dedication to us has meant so much to us. We honestly, like we said before, we never thought that this podcast would happen. We never thought about doing it until we started doing our lives, and you guys just got behind us and backed us and supported us. Like, it means the world to us.
I checked it a minute ago. We have, okay, let me pull it back up. We have 138 followers on our Instagram as we're recording this right now, the Hope Valley Central Station Instagram. So we have like almost 150 people following that Instagram. And we're on episode 5, y'all. Y'all are incredible. To all the people who, and Amy is one of them. Amy, Casey from the Hardy's Hotline, Tori from Party Like a Hardy, Nicole, all these people that continue to share this. Y'all are incredible. We love y'all so much. We wouldn't be here without y'all, and we can't wait to keep sharing.
Yeah, and so like comment below, like maybe if you guys have any video suggestions that you would love, like topics you guys would love to hear us talk about, maybe. And if you guys want to say something that maybe we're doing wrong, even like anything is really welcome. This is a safe space now. No bullying in the comment. I know.
Yeah.
We'll take constructive criticism, but we're not going to take bullying. And no bullying between the teams. We don't want to play none of that. You know, we're all supposed to love one another. That's one of the biggest things about Hope Valley, and a part of the show is that we're supposed to love one another, be there for one another, forgive one another, and just it's all supposed to be about heart and love.
It's all supposed to be uplifting, not tearing each other down. We're uplifting each other.
Exactly.
And helping each other do that.
And that goes for the cast also, and the crew. Please, like, if you don't like someone's character, don't bash the actor or actress that's portraying them. It's not their fault. It's the writers that are writing the show. So no going into Aaron or talking about how you hate Elizabeth's behavior. Don't go up to Kevin saying you hate how Nathan's secret has rocked your world. No going up to Allie because you don't like her behavior, or just all those kind of things. Those things. There's no way to behave. There's no way to treat someone. Yes, they're a celebrity, and the chances of them probably seeing your comment is actually higher than you think.
Yeah.
So just be mindful, be careful, and just it's the golden rule, y'all. Treat people the way that you want to be treated.
It is, yeah.
It should all be love.
Yeah.
And that's what we mainly want to talk. That's why we do these things. So.
Yep. And speaking of love, again, we've said it already, but we're going to say it again. We love you guys, and we really appreciate having y'all here with us. Love you too, Morgan.
I love you.
That Yeah, we can't wait to see what happens. I have a feeling these next few episodes of When Calls the Heart are going to fly by. And then this season that we've all been complaining is dragging out. We're suddenly going to go, where did it go? And Hallmark's going to go, we gave y'all 2 extra episodes. What are you talking about? But anyway.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Until next time, thank you so much. We love y'all, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.
Bye.